So we're going to start things with executive producer April Blair. Next up, we've got consulting producer and real-life inspiration for the show, Spencer Paysinger. She plays Layla Keating, Greta Oniogo. He plays Asher Adams, Cody Christian. Next up, we've got Jordan Baker, Michael Evans Bailing. She plays Laura Fine Baker, Monet Mazur. Olivia Baker, Samantha Logan. He plays Dylan James, Jalen Hall. She plays Grace James, Karima Westbrook. She plays Coop, Bre-Z. And last but not least, Spencer James, Daniel Ezra. All right, we brought the whole team. Well, I want to start because you guys were watching some of that pilot back there, which was I was creepily watching you watch it, and it was very enjoyable. Like, was that anyone's first time seeing the pilot? No, okay, good, good, that's good.
It felt like it.
But I feel like there were discussions of like favorite moments. What were some of your favorite moments from that pilot? Daniel, you want to start?
Me,
You're right here. No pressure.
I guess it's probably the football, I think.
Okay.
Or sort of the end montage where, you know, I just love that song, and sort of Spencer being welcomed into the family and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah. It is a killer soundtrack on that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Should we just go down you don't have to share favorite pilot moments. Does anybody else have one they want to share?
I agree with Spencer. We're connected.
Something,
I mean, Daniel, sorry. See how connected we are? I'm sorry.
So connected. I love it. So connected. Well, let's start with, obviously we have Spencer here. April, I want to talk about what was your first meeting with Spencer?
Where did we meet the first time? I think he took me around in South Central.
Took on a tour.
Took me on a tour. We went to Van Ness Park. We went to the barbershop where, you know, he spent a lot of time as a kid, his home that he grew up in. I met his grandfather.
I said she loves my grandfather.
I have a huge crush on his grandfather. And it just really, like, it warmed my heart. It spoke to me, that community. And that's sort of when we talked a lot about how we wanted to do a show that was really a tale of two cities and a boy who moved between them, and not just do a story about a boy who's taken out of his home and moved to like the good spot. You know, we never wanted to paint South Central as bad and Beverly Hills as good, and I think we've really accomplished that.
Yeah. Spencer, did you like grow up thinking like, my life is interesting enough to be a TV show?
No, I was too busy living it. You know?
That's true.
You know, but for the past 2 years, just, you know, getting this project off the ground, it's been amazing. Just the small hurdles that we've hit, that we've overcome, and the big wins. I'm still trying to process it all.
Yeah.
Come October 10th, you guys will, you know, see a lot more. So I'm just excited.
Yeah. Was it pretty, like, from the offset that you guys decided you wanted him to be, like, super involved? Because it's not always common that the real-life inspiration is on set, is taking you around. Was that a decision you made pretty early on?
Well, yeah, because he's the heart of the show. You know, his journey and you know, when we first met, I mean, the whole reason I wanted to do this was because initially when Greg told me about Spencer's story, we seem nothing alike, but his history, you know, he came from adversity, and I had a very similar story. I had a single mom who was a waitress, and we were on food stamps, and I had a dream that was bigger than it should have been. I wanted to do this. And so Spencer's story really spoke to me. And, you know, just this idea that while we seem nothing alike, like at heart, we have a very common story. And in today's world of division, I thought that was a really important story to tell, that black, white, rich, poor, gay, straight, that we're all on a cellular level far more similar than we are different.
Sure.
Well spoken, Ezra.
I also want to touch on, Daniel, obviously you're playing this role with the real life Spencer there. It's obviously your own character. What have the conversations been like between you two of like, okay, this is Spencer, this is kind of your own creative way of going about it?
I tended to avoid him on set. No, I'm playing. I didn't.
I'm trying to chase him down.
No, what was great is he made sure to give me the freedom to play and make my own choices, but he always made himself available to if I always ask him quite specific questions about like family and I wanted to get the dynamic between him and his mother and siblings and friends and stuff accurate, or at least authentic and real. So most of the questions centered around his family life and his home life,
Sure.
and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Spencer, do you feel at times like you are watching your real, like what is this experience like for you? It's like, oh, that's from my life, that's definitely not.
Yeah, I mean, early on, I had to sort of diject myself from Spencer James because, I love the character, I love the storylines that we've created, but, now even on set, I'm real Spencer on set and he's Spencer. So just allowing myself to understand that, as much as we pull from my past, my memories, my stories, this will be a fresh new character that even I'm discovering.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying it.
Do you get asked more life questions or football questions?
Depends on, Tay, all football questions.
Okay.
Tay wants to be a football coach in another. So I'm
He
trying
said
to.
it was his dream role
Yeah.
when we met him.
Oh, wow.
I'm teaching him little things. Like he tried to see how to tackle properly and stuff. So I'm like, just focus on Billy right now.
Does he actually tackle anyone at any point?
no.
He just wants to know. That's research, that's dedication. Someone's getting tackled at some point on this set. But I want to touch on Coop and kind of the James family members, because I feel like in the pilot, everyone is so incredibly supportive of Spencer and like, go, this is what's best for you. But is there any sort of sense as the show goes on of like, kind of seeing like maybe that they don't love, I'm like, is anyone really like gonna miss, I mean, you're obviously gonna miss Spencer, like this is a hard decision for all of you, but you're so nice about it.
Yeah.
Like, do we see you kind of struggle with that, with like him being gone for a bit?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, while Spencer is gone, Dylan is kind of, open. And some of the people in the neighborhood, like Sean.
No spoilers, Jalen.
There's no one.
Going there.
You gotta excuse Jalen. He had 3 cookies. He had 3 cookies.
But anyway, his family. But Spencer was kind of like their guardian, and with him gone, they're kind of, can be tampered with, attacked.
Yeah, no, we definitely miss him. He actually, took on the role of pretty much being the man of the house. So although I want to position him for success, it is still very hard that he's gone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How is Coop faring? Are we gonna get to see much of like Coop outside of Spencer? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want like a Coop-centric episode.
A Coop what?
Just like an all Coop episode.
Oh, all Coop episode.
Say that
I love.
I'm writing that now.
Okay, great. Great. Just started. Did the two of you, because I feel like this friendship is such like a key thing in the show. Did you guys do like a chemistry read? When did you first meet?
Love at first sight.
Yeah, it was. I mean, no, we didn't.
I was waiting on him to come in from Birmingham.
No, we didn't. We didn't do a chemistry thing. We just. When did we first meet?
On set.
No, we read it. We met
Oh, the
at
table.
Oh, the table read. Yeah, but we
Yeah,
did.
we met at table read.
Yeah, but there was no chemistry test. We clicked pretty instantly.
I kissed you. It's like,
Moving on.
We'll move on. I want to touch on some of the Beverly Hills folks back here. I'll start. Jordan, I feel like in that pilot we saw little pieces of watching like Spencer bond with his dad. Does that irk him? How does that kind of affect him and you with that?
Yeah, definitely irk. That's a good word. Yeah. It definitely, Jordan, he's itching for his dad's attention all the time. And when Spencer, this new kid, comes to town and just immediately snatches up dad's attention, that's just like, what? It sends Jordan in this mission to sabotage, if you will, Spencer. Yeah.
So you're the villain to his hero in a way?
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
I feel like the guy next to you maybe is the villain.
You already know.
I know. Does Asher have a good side?
I think he does. I think it's somewhere deep down inside.
Deep,
Find it. Deep,
Deep, it's
way
real deep.
down in there. No, I think it's a kid. It's a similar position that that Jordan's in. You have this new kid coming in, and he's taking the spotlight. You got a guy that plays the same position, if not better than Asher. He comes into his home field, takes him off of the field. If I don't get that attention, I don't get those reps, I don't get looked at. I don't get a scout offer. I don't get a scholarship to college. And on top of that, he's also taking the attention of my lovely girlfriend. So I think anybody can do that. So I'm also all on board, playing sabotage.
Yeah, let's do it.
What I love about that is I feel like Spencer was so proud when you were talking about like reps and scouts, and you were just like, yes, that's how football works.
Exactly. I'll tell you, he wanted to buy a jugs machine to catch passes in his backyard. So like he's dedicated for this.
We're all in.
Wait, who's actually the best at football? Is it Cody?
Nope.
No,
I played football growing up, so. I played the most recent football besides
I'll
Spencer
excuse myself.
Right.
Besides
You're
Spencer.
not allowed to answer.
No, but yeah, I played the
think
most
he's
recent
the
football.
Right. How do you guys put together those football scenes?
We don't. No, we have a really incredible company called Game Changing Films, and they choreograph all the football. They, come up with all the plays. They work with Spencer. We have a NFL writer in the room, John Alston, who played for the Rams for 5 years. So we have a lot of help with the football. Yeah.
So you just have to.
I'm like football stuff.
That's literally what it was. For the pilot, before we started crafting the football stories, we would write the dialogue off the field, and when she got to football, it was just football stuff, and then back to the next scene off the field. So there's a running joke that we just say football stuff, and we'll get to it later.
Well, I want to touch on Laura. I feel like in that pilot, welcomed Spencer in pretty without thinking about it. Is she really that nice? Are we gonna explore more of kind of how she feels about this situation?
Yes, I think she is really that nice. I think that there's a semi-duplicitous thing going on for her with her career, and coincidentally what happens at the time of him coming to live at their house. But I think that her relationship with Billy is a really solid foundation, and as a family, they're a really solid family with teenagers that fall into very typical things that happen to teenagers. I have a teenager. I'm watching it happen, and I have 2 teenagers on the show that I see. You come up on these things that happen in life, and you deal with them the best way you can. And I think as a husband and a wife and a mother, she feels like that is the right thing to do, and does accept him openly to the house to live with him.
Sure. I think it's fair to say Olivia is the happiest with Spencer's move-in, maybe?
I'm pretty happy about it too.
Hey.
Need to control.
I'm not unhappy about it. Sorry, I'll let you.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely weird. I mean, but obviously, I mean, she's more than open to you coming in and living with us for the same reasons, because, yeah.
Well, I like
It's right down the hall for me.
like Olivia, I think very much so like feels a little bit like an outsider too in her world. So like, do you guys kind of like bond in that way?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think very quickly they're both, Olivia's just now sort of re-entering the world after her phase, and Spencer's coming in new, so it's, that's sort of their initial connection. They kind of see that in each other.
Yeah.
And they laugh with each other, and they just have like an immediate kind of genuine connection that isn't forced. Like they just gravitated towards each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, they almost become like best friends right away. Yeah.
Not best friends.
I know my place. I know my place.
Sam, don't let her push it. Push it.
I would love to see though, like, are we gonna see some like
Whoa. All right.
like crossover between worlds? Like I would
yeah.
love like a Coop hanging out in Beverly Hills with Olivia.
Oh, it's coming.
I've been dying to get over there. I've been dying. I never
You
get to
got
work.
over there.
What? No, what?
Yeah, you have.
Yes, you have. You just came to my house.
5.
You were just there.
You were just.
Remember our moment?
We had
I don't think they should.
Oh, am I giving? Am I?
But I
Pulling a
wasn't, that
Jalen.
wasn't like enough.
I'm sorry, bro.
That wasn't enough.
There's
gotta go
more.
back.
I want to be there.
It definitely gets into his worlds colliding.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I do want to talk about Layla. What do you feel like she sees in Spencer that she connects with?
It's getting hot in here. I think it's similar to what Sam said. I think they are also instantly gravitate to each other. There's a spark. I think a lot of that is just young teenage love that happens really quickly and really fast, and it's really intense, and you have a lot of feelings that you're trying to deal with. And I think with her relationship with Asher, there are things that happen in both of their lives individually that I think sort of shake the foundation of their relationship, and Spencer just happens to come in at the right time for that. So yeah, it's, you know, they're teenagers, it's complicated.
Not for me.
I feel like every character on the show has at least one secret, if not probably like multiple. How much do the actors know? Like, how much do you guys know from episode to episode? Anything?
They don't tell us anything.
We know when we.
Daniel has
We
a big
find
house.
out-
so you
Daniel
can't
knows
tell him
everything.
much.
Daniel knows everything.
Daniel walks into the
And then
production
Daniel will go to
office.
Michael, and then I'll have like the pull it from
Daniel
Michael,
walks
and I'll
into
be
the
like,
production office, like, yo, let me tell you about this episode.
yeah.
He tells me.
We find out when we get the scripts.
Okay.
We're as excited to read them as you will be to see them, because they're juicy.
They are.
Yeah.
I mean, how many secrets do these people have, April?
Lots.
A million. I mean, we've talked about like these two different worlds and each one kind of having its own set of issues. By bringing like both into one show, does it just give you like that many more issues that you get to touch on? Like, are there certain things you're really looking forward to tackling on the show?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a more contemporary version of shows we've seen in this arena before. You know, to do a show that you can combine all the stuff you loved about Friday Night Lights with like Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
You know, it just gives you, you know, a rich kind of tapestry of stories to tap into. And I think, you know, what we've discovered, I think when we set out, you know, in developing the pilot, it was going to be weighted a little more to the Beverly Hills world. But in writing and in shooting the pilot, we discovered the sort of fresher, more interesting stories really were about the two worlds and him moving between them and the two worlds colliding and really giving both worlds their due and never painting one as good or bad.
Yeah.
But just painting them with all the complexities that they both share. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Sum that up. Spencer, I mean, we mentioned Friday Night Lights. There are a million football TV shows, movies. As a football player, was there something you brought to this that was like, this is my pet peeve that every football movie does that we cannot do?
Oh man. No, I think we're hitting it on the head, pretty well.
Well, you said we had to do it real.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, coming from the NFL, playing 7 years, I can't have a product on TV that isn't authentic. So when we're watching the hits, thank you. So when we're watching the hits, even on the while we're taping them, I'm giving my constructive criticism to say, oh, that's not, let's go harder, let's run faster, or just giving my perspective, because again, I can't have something out there that I don't like.
Oh. Does that put more pressure on you actors who are playing football?
Yes.
It's not so much, and it's not too bad because of the insight and the amount of information that we have accessible on set. Even just little things like the details of formations and how many people are lining up and why am I over here? Well, what's it mean? Like, can I be in motion moving from this side to this side? And when I set, am I on the line? Am I off the line as a receiver? Just little things that like that really bring the authenticity to. I don't really know. So I'm like, I have to turn to Spencer and I have to turn to anybody else, Game-Changing Films. Everybody comes together and really helps us to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. Because I don't want to make a fool out of myself. I don't want to make a fool out of you. So yeah, we're making sure, we do our due diligence on the field.
Are there real football players hitting you guys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's amazing because the guys that are playing the football players, they have D1 background. There's a guy on set that I played in Miami with for a year, so it's authentic
and terrifying.
It really is.
What's great as well is they will sort of happily, if they see us doing something or something we can do better, they'll happily come and give us advice. So there's always a constant stream of advice and ways we can. The three of us can improve, and that's coming from Spencer, from John, Game-Changing, and the players themselves, which is cool. And they're also invested. They're not just sort of playing football, but they're bringing sort of character and emotions and things like that too. So it makes the whole thing feel more real for us, and it just makes our job way easier when we're on the field. Because a lot of the story gets told on the field during the games. So having that level of kind of reality around us definitely helps.
And I have to add to that, my football double, Chris, is actually in the room
He's
tonight.
here, yeah. A couple of
Shout this kid out. Because he is the man. He has been my mentor. Any question that I have, I go to him, and he makes sure that I'm doing things the right way. He's been so understanding, so patient with me, and he also just took a massive hit in this last episode, and he's got the scars to prove it. So I thank you, man. We couldn't do this without you, for real.
I feel like at the end of this season, you're going to be able to write something other than football stuff.
that I'll be able to write the football?
Not the football, but I feel maybe you'll be linebacker, tackle something.
I'm learning. Slowly.
Who was the first person cast? Do we know?
Oh,
No pressure, April.
I think it was Michael.
No, it was not.
No. Greta and Sam. It was the three of you.
No, me and Greta got cast same time. At least that's what the internet said.
It's all a blur.
That's what the internet.
I know Sam and I got casted.
They got
so
casted.
Sam, Michael, and I
Greta
were in
got cast at the
auditions
time, but you.
I waited 2 weeks after they got cast.
When did I get cast?
Mother. Beat ya.
No,
Bre-Z. It was Bre-Z.
Probably Tay.
You're right. You know, really.
Oh yeah, Tay.
It was Tay. Yeah, during our test, we saw the photo of Tay.
Give it up for Bre-Z.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Daniel was the last one cast.
Okay, I was about to say, maybe the better question
we were
is
waiting on you to be here.
No,
Yeah.
we were.
Daniel was the last one.
No, I was the last one. I was.
It all worked out.
Well, I want to touch on, just in general, kind of for you guys as actors, you read a million pilot scripts, you get this one. What was it about kind of your character, this project, that you said, I got to be a part of this? We can start with Bre-Z.
First one cast.
I think Coop was a lot like Bre-Z. And as I read the description and you know, begin to read the sides that they had set for the audition, I felt like I was the only one in the world that could bring this to life the way it has. And when I do audition, I either feel that way or I don't.
Yeah.
And if I don't feel that way, I don't even want to audition for it. So, and it was really the authenticity. And mainly because I hate to see like specific walks of life, especially gay and lesbian, I hate to see it portrayed so stereotypically. Everyone's not the same. You get what I'm saying? Just because I look like this does not make me want to identify as a male or make me want to be a boy. You know what I mean? So I was able to really bring a lot of truth to Coop. Like, she's still a girl. And that's who I am. You know what I'm saying? So what you see isn't necessarily what it always is. You know what I'm saying? And I was able to make her multi-dimensional, especially after meeting, you know, with the bosses. But it worked out, and that's what I like. And I like the authenticity overall of the show because there's so many, everyone here has their own walk of life that every character on the show is a lead to me. You know what I mean? So, and everyone casted is able to portray it so true to life in their own, you know, unique way that I just felt like, why not?
Nobody could play Coop but Bre-Z.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But I want to go down the line because I do agree. I do feel like this is very much so an ensemble cast. Every one of these characters, even just in the pilot, like I feel connected to, I enjoy. So we'll finish with Daniel. Let's continue moving down the line. Just what about this project and this character pulled you in?
I really love the writing. I love the story, and it was very relatable. Just for myself growing up and being in certain environments and understanding, wanting change and wanting to move out of certain environments just to have more opportunities. I felt very connected to it, and you know, I'm not a mother yet, but I've always, you know, I want to have kids, you know, and. I just felt very connected to the project, and I thought the story was very inspiring. I thought it had a lot to say.
Sure.
And so, yeah.
Yeah. Jalen, what about you?
Dylan is a very loving person. Having a brother, I really love my brother. His name is Jeremy. He would take care of me like every day. He'd drive me places. I like to like swing on his muscle. And then reading the description that I had a single mother, it was really the same for me. And it gave like the character life for me. But of me not getting it, it would like really tear me down. But now that I got it, we don't have to worry about it.
That was good. That was good.
The sugar has worn
Oh
off.
my God.
That was smart. That was
So
smart.
good. Do you want to attempt to follow that?
Yeah, I'm like, how do wow. No, I'm looking at your mom, and I'm like in tears, like just hearing even just you guys talk about it, like.
Yeah, shout out mom, man.
Yeah, Mom.
Shout out mom.
Thank you. My mom, even
Go ahead, Mom.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it brings me to tears. Like, I am so grateful to be able to work with everybody on this cast, genuinely. Like, I remember the first day I auditioned for it, it was like, it was a super weird day. I walked in, like, there's nobody in the audition room. I had no idea what I was auditioning for. It was untitled for the longest time.
Oh, yeah.
And I walked in, and there were it was just Kamala and me in the room. There was no camera rolling, and we just read together. And I remember after reading, I was just like, that felt so good. Like, I've never had an audition like that where it just felt so organic. And then just it kind of all happened really fast. And then I'm not surprised that we're all sitting here. Like, you guys bring such a beautiful element and a beautiful vision to the screen. And I'm so, yeah, it's beyond.
I had a similar experience as Bre-Z when I read the script, because I opened a script that was untitled and it was clearly about football and somebody from Crenshaw, and I sort of thought, like, where do I come into this? But by like page 10 or 15 and I still hadn't come in, I was like, oh my God, this is the script. This is the one. This is the show that I want to do. And I didn't even know what I was doing in it. But it's true. And I had just actually spent the last 6 years living in London. So living in a city that's like so multicultural, and I'm from LA, so I grew up here, and I know what it was like to live in Venice, or, you know, having friends or people that, you know, lived in Crenshaw or South Central, or, you know, all the different different areas of LA that are so, you know, typecast. And then reading the show and living in London, where, you know, from one block to the next block, you've got council estates and super, super nice buildings and all different walks of life living on the same block together. It just really resonated to me, because I was raising my kids that grew up, that were born here, there, and watching them, you know, sort of relate to these issues. And then my character came in the script, and I thought, how does this woman, you know, play in this story, and being a mother and all that. When I read it, I couldn't see anyone else playing it than me. Especially down to like April's very specific outfit description, that I was like, oh, I have those shoes, I'll wear those into the audition. And when I went in the audition, it again was one of those really special moments where it wasn't the most amazing audition I'd ever done, or it wasn't the most perfect sort of, you know, read, but it felt so it was just meant to be. And I feel so lucky to have a job on this show with this cast, because everybody is so uniquely amazing at their characters, and it just works. Everything about it works.
I have to agree with everything that everyone said so far, obviously. No, but when I read the script, you know, me being a fan of football, it was cool to see something like this. And then, you know, when I read Jordan, I was like, okay. He's dealing with some stuff, you know, and you know, I can kind of relate to him in a way, because, you know, he is this mixed kid, you know, trying to get his approval of his dad, and you know, I can relate to him, you know, being that biracial kid who's, you know, in a way living in two different worlds, you know, where you're not white enough to be here, you're not black enough to be here, and that is something that Jordan, you know, he deals with in his own way. So that to me was like probably one of the, you know, the biggest thing. I was like, okay, yeah, that's dope. I'd love to go in here and get this job. And then now here we are. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record, honestly. I think April had said it earlier, and Bre-Z summed it up so perfectly. I think one thing that attracted me to this show is I feel like this idea is being lost, that at the end of the day, you know, no matter who you are, where you come from, what you represent, we're all human beings. And I think we go through life now with this preconceived notion of being able to look at somebody at first glance and know who they are and what they stand for, and it's just not true. You know, everything in life, every moment, every experience, every conversation has like shaped me as an individual of who I am, you know, standing in front of all of you today. So I think there was this element in this script, this sense of like relativity almost, where there was so much more beneath like surface level. And at first glance on all these characters, it's like you think you know, and you think you know what's going on. But once we start to dive in, you start to understand. You start to see like how they see the world and how they justify things and why their actions, you know, speak for themselves and why they like think the way that they do. You know, with Asher, I saw this kid who is desperately trying to find his own identity in the world and is struggling to do so. And within that struggle, lashing out at everybody around him. And I see this kid in pain and hiding it. And, you know, at first glance, you think, okay, cool, like this kid, he has it all. He lives in Beverly Hills, you know, he lives the life, but it's not true. It's not true, because you don't know what he's going through. You don't know what any of these characters are going through. And that's something about this story that really, like, appealed to me, you know, not only as just an audience member, but as an actor, to be able to explore that and you know, creatively explore it. So that, and also, you know, the physicality of it, the football, I think, yeah, it's a dream come true, you know, to be playing around on a field, and that's what we do for like a day job. Yeah, I feel like a little kid again, and I feel so blessed, so grateful to be here and be a part of the show, be a part of this cast, and to tell this story. So.
I also agree with what everyone has already said. For me, with the script, it was this moment where you always hear actors talk, or actors or producers or writers talk about, you know, when I got this script or when I heard about this concept, I just knew. And I was thinking, that has never happened to me. Genuinely, until I got this script. And it was, it's just a moment you have where you just think, I have to be a part of this. And then in the back of your head, you're like, well, you're never gonna get it, because this is like, you're not gonna have that moment. Everyone else has to have that moment. For me personally, it all happened very quickly. I'm from Canada, so it was a lot of flying back and forth. And I actually originally auditioned for Olivia's character. So, similarly to Michael, the biracial aspect I thought was really interesting. That's not something I personally have seen explored a lot, and it's something that really resonated with me. It's not necessarily something that my character is dealing with at the moment, but I think there's just so much that this show has to offer, and I think it's going to be such a great vehicle for bringing so many important topics to the forefront of the conversation that I think we absolutely must keep talking about. Yeah, I just hope, and the other great thing is I think our youth right now are so energized, and it's so nice to be on a show that I think they'll really relate to, and the topics they'll really relate to, and hopefully will resonate with them and inspire them, and I just hope we do it justice. I hope people enjoy it, because we love it. Like, it's so nice to be part of something that you can genuinely text your friends and be like, please watch it, you'll actually like it, not just because I'm on it, like I promise it's good. And it doesn't always happen, so it's really nice that we get that with this show.
Yeah. I feel like I know what you two are. Daniel, do you want to bring us home?
That's why we're dating on the show, by the way. Go with it.
For me, it was I think it was the writing and the character of Spencer. And he felt very familiar to me because, you know, I know what it is to be a kid with a unrealistic dream. You know, a kid from Crenshaw making it to the NFL is, in this world, unrealistic. And a kid from, you know, inner city Birmingham in the UK, being on like a show like this again is unrealistic. So I could relate in terms of that journey and that the anger that he felt. And I remember reading the script, it made me want to go and talk to my father and my family and those kind of issues. And I thought, if I can get that kind of feeling from a script, imagine what it's going to look like when it hits TV. And it doesn't shy away, as we're going to go into the rest of the season, we don't shy away from the difficult conversations and the difficult topics. And I got that sense from the pilot, and it's kind of lived up and exceeded all my expectations. So I prepared as much as I could, and I sent off a tape. I was in London, and I sent off a tape and then didn't hear anything for 2 weeks. So I assumed I hadn't got it. And then my agent called me at like 11 o'clock at night, which is either really good or really bad when your agent calls you. At 11 o'clock at night, and she was like, I'm sending you a plane ticket because you need to be in LA tomorrow. And so like I didn't sleep. I spent the rest of the night learning lines and packing and everything, and then got to the airport, and then went and met April and Rob and sort of re-auditioned, and then the next day I thought, I can't I can't just stay in my hotel room and wait by the phone because that's gonna drive me crazy. So I thought I'll go and explore LA because I might not be back for a very long time. Because the audition went, it was fine, but I didn't walk out thinking I've got it.
Right.
So I sort of explored LA and I got an Uber and I was headed to the Hollywood sign to go see the Hollywood, and that's when my agent called me and said, "You got the part."
Damn.
That is, we are out of time. Thank you guys so much for being
Thank
here.
you.